you feel. Can't be nobody else. A goddess that's me. What you see is what you get. You ain't seen nothing yet. Guarantee sure bet. Are you ready? Now I'm coming out. I'm coming up. I'm coming in. Lost and loose. I'm coming out. I'm coming up. I'm coming in. Lost and loose. Welcome to the Lion-Hearted Leader Spotlight, a special feature on More with V, Unleash Your Inner Badass. Here, we shine a light on leaders who embody courage, authenticity, and legacy. Women and men living with their whole heart, showing us what lion-hearted leadership looks like in action. Today, I'm honored to be joined by Kisha Cameron. Kisha is a 15-year restaurant owner turned full-time digital marketer. Growing up in New York, she learned early that hard work truly pays off. She is a proud Clark Atlanta University alum with a degree in marketing and communications, which I forgot. I didn't realize your degree was in marketing. No wonder you're so fantastic. So her journey started with corporate America and network marketing before she started her traditional brick and mortar business. So people used to call her the Black Mary Poppins at Clark Atlanta because she was always motivating others to be themselves and brand themselves. And after becoming a successful franchisee and running a brick and mortar restaurant for 15 years, she is now embracing a new season. She helps entrepreneurs and small business owners thrive in digital marketing world. She believes in the power of seeing one's own value and making it visible to others. Her motto is simple: when people see me, they pay me. Okay? And it's all about visibility and value. She is on a mission to help as many entrepreneurs see their value and build their brand online. Being a digital entrepreneur is the way to true wealth, and she's excited to help people get there. From corporate baddie to digital marketing change maker, she's a wife, a mother, and now grandma, and I'm lucky enough to call her a sister friend. We've been friends since high school, and though we didn't always stay in contact, we'd always pick up where we left off. And what I love about Kisha is her willingness to continually reinvent herself, to take risks, and do something unknown and bold. Her faith, strength, and tenacity have led her right here to this moment. And we're going to talk about what it really means to lead with a lion's heart, courage, clarity, and love. So get ready to be inspired by Kisha Cameron.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, Bashan, we're back at it, huh? Listen, thank you for inviting me. I'm honored. Okay, so thank you for that. And a like attracts like, right?
Yes.
And so you are always reinventing yourself too. And I'm so proud of you. And I love all the things that I see that you're doing. And so, we, like you said, we picked up back up like we never left off, right? Like we never was apart, I should say. So I
Yes.
love that. Yeah.
So I really just love that you're here. And so, like I told you when we first got started, that, we have minimal script, there's minimal editing. We're just us, whether I'm by myself or with a guest. I just want everybody to feel free to be themselves. But I'm going to ask you a question that I ask everybody that comes on for this segment. What does lion-hearted leadership mean to you?
Strength, power, focus, courage. Like I mentioned before, just going after the thing that you want boldly with no apologies needed, but also leading with compassion, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You don't have to be overpowering as a leader, but you can lead with compassion and still get things done that needs to get done,
Yeah, that's so true. Now, do you feel like there was a turning point in your life, in your journey, when you realized you had to lead differently, like from the heart instead of from fear or rules or expectations?
Yes. I mean, coming from a corporate environment and being a leader there were certain steps I had to take. There were certain rules I had to follow, of course, right? Because you're in the corporate environment, they expect this, that, and the third. So I felt like I was had to do and had to be who they wanted me to be, right? Which all the time I didn't think it was right, but I followed suit and I did what I needed to do just because, right? Young then, right? More mature. business owner, entrepreneur. I'm leading a staff. And in particular, I'm leading a staff of young people, right? When I owned my
Yes.
restaurant. So the way I led them was a little bit different. And I talk about this all the time, Vashon. And I used to get laughed at because the way I lead was different than the typical leadership role. So, as a leader who is in particular leading young people, and what I'm about to say is just not for young people, right? People who are leading youngsters, it's like for anyone. I began to start to really and honestly care about what was going on in their lives, right? So I would build out the day according to what was important to them. So, like back in the day, it was like you got a job and you showed up at the scheduled time. Like the boss never asked you, like, well, what days can you work? When do you need off? It was like, here's the schedule, figure it out, make sure you get here, or else you won't have a job.
Exactly.
But my style of leadership was very different from that. I would come to the students, even my adult staff, I would say, hey, tell me what's on tap this week coming up. I'm about to do the schedule. Like, are there any activities going on? Are you going on vacation? Is it your birthday? Is mom okay? I ask all of
Love
the
that.
lifestyle stuff, like the things that matter to them. And then I would build a schedule around what they have going on. Now, my other franchisees and other people, business owners were like, what? Why would you do that? But it worked so beautifully. I had less call outs because technically they set the schedule because you told me the days that you could work. So I just plugged you in to those days. And so it worked out. I had less call outs, less, shystiness, if you will, because they were like, my boss actually cares about my well-being. And so that is to me a great example of Lionheart leadership, caring about the people around you and the people that work for you so that you can be your best, they can be your best, and you can generate good business because it's all connected, you know? So
Yes, I love that. And the thing is, when you care about people, people can feel that. And whether they're your employee, your business partner, your life partner, your children, people can tell when you care about them or when they're just a number or they're
for
just,
sure.
oh, that's just my kids or that's just, you know what I mean? Like they can feel the energy that you're coming to them in. So that just speaks also to your thoughtfulness, and that compassion that you were talking about,
Hmm.
that you care about the individual as much as you care about getting your work done because you realize that's the end goal. Like that
Yeah.
is what is going to keep you successful because people will show up for you if they know you will show up for them.
No, for sure.
And so often with bosses, that is not the case. And which is why
Yeah.
people do give you the shadiness. The grandmother has died 3 times. And, you know, you wait, but you only have, how many grandmothers do you have? Like, what's that?
Right. It's like, no, for sure. And another piece of that is that, a lot of times people sell instead of serve. Okay. You have to choose serving over selling. And it's so funny when I would have like these franchisee meetings with all the other franchisees, and I'm like the only brown girl in the room, and I'm the only one that's vocal, and I'm standing up making conversation and, saying my piece. And I never forget in one of the meetings, I was like, listen, we were just talking about strategy and all these things. And I was like, listen, you have to put people before profits.
Mm,
When you put people before profits, you're going to see the profits. Trust me in this. And they looked at me like I had three heads, Rashawn. I was like, y'all don't get that concept? Yeah. So, and it was like big wigs in the room, people who make decisions in the corporate realm of that restaurant business. But I just couldn't understand why they didn't understand that, right? Because serving is so vital. Putting people first, whether it's your customers, your staff, the vendors who are delivering the food, whatever the case may be, when you put people first and you lead in that way, things change for you.
yes, it's so true. Like I have worked for some of the biggest corporations in the United States, and the ones that I remember, and I'm in a totally different space of mind now. Like I'm in an entrepreneurial mind, and not in a like working for someone else, making someone else rich mind. But I would go back to like I was looking at the other day. I was like, that was the most fun jobs. It's not a lot of pressure.
Yes.
I can pull benefits because they care about you as a person. They want
Hmm.
to make sure that you had benefits day one for certain things and other things. Okay, yes, you did have to wait, but it was clear that they cared about their people. It wasn't
Yes.
about you just being a number. And it was such a contrast because I left one big company and went to another one. And to give you an example, there was a hurricane, and this is when I was living in Florida. And one company was like, all the big wigs left. They left one big wig, but there was a curfew that was supposed to be, because the hurricane's
Hurricane is
coming, you're supposed to get off the road. They wouldn't let us leave. They told us if we left that we would lose points. Like they would have a point system for attendance or whatever. But we worked in this building that it sounded like any minute this roof was going to peel off because it's metal. And I'm like, but everybody was leaving. All the big wigs left. And I was like, oh. And I stopped one because he was like saying bye on the way out. And I was like, are you leaving? And we can't leave until 2-3 hours after the curfew, but you're leaving now? Oh yeah, I'm leaving now to go home and be with my family. So you don't think that he walked out the door?
You went right behind him. You said, "Oh, guess what? Not
Stuff
today."
so fast.
He didn't know, Bashan. He didn't know who he was dealing with. He didn't.
You just gonna have to dock me. So I was like, I packed up so fast because I was like, how you telling us we can't leave and we would be penalized if we left?
And you're walking out
And
the
you're
door.
walking out the door, and you left one poor little lowly, the lowest one on the totem pole manager
Girl.
left.
Huh?
Okay, contrast. I went to a different company after that.
Mm-hmm.
They created a team to call all the people that were in the hurricane area to make sure we
Mm-hmm.
were okay.
I
They
love it.
said, look, if you're able to and you have to evacuate or whatever, just keep our equipment off the floor. That's all we ask. But if not, don't worry about it. Leave that equipment right where it's at and make sure that you and your family are safe.
Period.
I will work for you for the
Right. For
rest of
however
my life.
long. Yeah, for sure. No, and it makes a difference.
It makes
Clearly.
a difference.
A lot of people don't lead in that way for whatever reason, but it does make a difference. Yeah.
It really does.
I'm sorry you had to experience that.
I thank you, but I had to experience it so I know what not to do
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
because sometimes our experience is our best teacher.
For sure.
So you have to sometimes go through the things. But yeah, it just showed me like you can be a multi-billion-dollar company and still care about your people.
You
And
can.
and it's so interesting that you said, yeah, you were in a room for people that were all the big mucky mucks and they didn't get that part, which is
Yeah.
why there's so many people that have so many disgruntled people working for them.
No, it's true. It's true, Bashan. Good point.
But, so tell me about a time you had to choose courage over comfort. And what did that moment teach you?
Jesus. Well, so before even became a franchisee, I worked for an advertising agency, one of the top 10 African American advertising agencies in the world. Well, in the United States. And this organization was ran by a crazy man. I mean, and the running joke in the office was like, uh-oh, here he comes, and he didn't take his meds today, so lay low. It was like, I'm like, what? Okay. I maybe worked there maybe 2 years at best. And one day he wasn't on his meds, clearly, and he called me and my team into the office. I was a part of a team, so I had, a lead, and then I was an account executive with two other people. So it was four of us in that room. And he was going on and on about one of the accounts that we had, and something fell through the cracks, and he was super upset. And when I say upset, he called us everything but the child of God. I've never been in an environment where a boss was cursing, calling us the H word, the B word. I mean, like, now mind you, did I tell you I'm from the Bronx? Oh, you know I'm from the Bronx. You already know.
It's just been like,
It just got
real
real.
life right now. Is this
He was in the middle of his third B. I said, you know what? And my boss was like, Kisha, come back here. I was like, who?
cool?
Listen here. Listen. So
you girl.
listen, whereas it was like the norm for him to go off like that, and
No.
everybody expected it and everybody took it. But this girl right here was like, no, ma'am, Pam, this is not working. So in my mind, I'm getting up, get my stuff together, leaving his office. He's like, get back here. I kept walking. I went downstairs to my office, started packing up my stuff, called my husband. I was like, honey, I told him I ran the play. I told him what happened. He said, oh no, get your stuff. Let's go, get out of there. Right. That took courage for me to do because I didn't have anything lined up. I didn't know what was going to be next, but I did know that I wasn't going to stay at a place where I wasn't appreciated. Yes, I was comfortable there. Yes, I was getting paid well. I had all the things, all the perks. I was on the BMW account. I was on the Barbados account. I was traveling. I was doing all the things. And I was like, but this one thing I'm not going to do. Okay. You gotta stand your ground. At some point,
Yes.
you gotta say, you know what? Not going to happen.
Today.
Not today. So as I'm boxing the stuff up, I'm like, okay, Keish, this is it because this is it, And so that took courage for me to do that,
It
right? To
did.
stand up to this man who's revered about one of the top 10 digital marketing agencies in the United States, right? Everybody knows his name. Everybody knows his agency. Anytime I mentioned this agency, it was like, oh, you work for that company? It was like a big deal. It's like a badge of honor for me to walk around and say, woo, woo, woo. But I was like, yeah, he crazier than a road lizard.
No, not a road lizard.
A road lizard, girl. I was like, nah, don't believe the hype. But I screwed
Horrible.
out. But you know what? That had to happen
See?
for
That's what I'm
me to
saying.
become an entrepreneur. That was the springboard into my journey as an entrepreneur. And it's always like that. It's like a pivotal moment, a transition in your life that
Yes.
takes you from point A to point B. And then you just keep going. So once I walked out the door, I was like, I gave it up to God. I was like, God, it's me and you right now. Like, what are we doing? And so from there, I started to do more research about how I could be my own business owner, how I can do like freelancing. I did some freelancing, of course, in that field, but then God led me to owning a restaurant. And then 15 years later, who knew, right? From that one pivotal experience, right? So it took courage. I was comfortable, but it took courage, and I have no regrets, none at
Yes.
all. It was
Yeah.
that was an experience, girl. It was.
You haven't even looked.
Girl, I have not looked back. Girl, I post stories on Facebook to this day. He's in my Facebook stories. I'm like, what you doing here?
Well, this
He
is the
won't
thing.
say anything, but he's
I just did an
looking.
episode recently and it talked about we teach people how to treat us.
Hmm.
And whether it's in interpersonal relationships like your romantic relationships or friendships, we mostly think about it in that area, but also with jobs because literally like I used to work at a place where their whole thing is making people happy. But their employees, every time we would walk up to the door and get in the vicinity, talk about this is the place where our soul comes to die. Like every day. Imagine saying that every day as you get ready to walk into the building. And it really was happening because I only stayed for the cushy perks and the people. Like the people that I worked
You
with were
work
so
with.
amazing. And we
Yes.
worked so many hours that it was like family. Like I calculated, I'm like, I'm paying all this money for this apartment that I don't get to spend a lot of time in because we've got mandatory overtime. We got all this stuff. And I'm just like,
Mm,
but I
that's that.
stayed because I love the people I work with because that's one thing that
Yeah.
did attract some of the most amazing people to work with.
Probably the salary and the benefits is what attracted
Yeah.
those types of people. Yeah.
And you were definitely just a number because somebody is waiting. There's like a waiting list to work at this place. So they didn't
Mm,
care. We don't care. Bye. There will be somebody else to take your
that's a
place.
horrible way to be. That is
Yeah.
horrible.
But it's a one of the largest companies in the United States. You would be shocked. And you're
Wow.
probably not shocked, but
No, right.
yeah.
Not at all.
But yeah, it's just interesting. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we teach people how to treat us, and that even goes to work and our bosses.
Hmm.
You don't value my time. I laugh at they have these two girls on. Well, there's like three now on like TikTok. They do these skits. Like there's like
Hmm.
Veronica, and then there's another girl, and she's like 4:59. She's already packed up. She's ready. 5 o'clock. She's out, and the boss will be like,
So,
well, blah blah blah. And she's like, oh, it is after my time, because for so long we were taught like I think there's many layers, right? Being,
Yes,
African American woman, we were taught like hard work and that's what's going to get us the American dream and all this kind of stuff. And to an extent, yes. And I got tired of making money for other people.
for sure.
I was like, no, I'm making the other people rich, and they're not even treating me well. Yes, do they give me good benefits? But that's not a reason to stay anywhere, because
No,
those
for
benefits are
sure.
only going to take you so far. If you're too tired to use the benefits, what's the point? Because that was what was happening. Like, we were working so many hours in a week, we didn't even use one of the biggest benefits because we were too tired.
Too tired. Now that is so crazy, right? And like to spin off of the example you were sharing about the people on the gram and all these social media platforms. I think it's such a beautiful thing to see now how people are coming into their own and they're stepping up and saying what they will and will not do. Because when we, were growing up or we had jobs, it was no, oh, I need this day off or I can't come into work. It's like, no, you're going to be at work and that's that.
Right.
But but I think I did a post too a while back about this one young guy. He was being reamed on a radio show. So there's these Gen Xers on a radio show talking about, hey, can you believe this kid reading an email or whatever? This kid sent an email to his boss saying, she said, hey, we have a Zoom call at 9, which is a scheduled time for him to be at work, right? But then she emailed him and was like, can you hop in at 8:30? And he was like, no, you're infringing upon my time. I'm at the gym. You said it was at 9. I'm not going to be there until 9. So either I'm going to miss that Zoom call or not. And so the people on the radio station was like, can you believe this kid? Who do these kids think they are? I was like,
No, he's right.
listen, I wish we had that kind of like gumption, the
Yes, I
cojones.
really admire. Yes,
Me
I
too.
admire their cojones
Too.
because let me tell
Me
you.
too. It's important for you to set
You
boundaries.
know how many times I've thought that, and I was like, "You
And it's
want me
like,
to do
nah,
what?"
yes.
Or
And you
like,
did it anyway.
or like have these, which I didn't even realize. Like, I'm telling you, I just love these younger kids because they really showing me what
Hmm.
kind of mindset we had. Like it was like, like the office
Trauma.
used to have all this stuff. Oh, we have the pizza party and this. Like, but after hour, like, no,
No,
I get off at. Let me see what time. Right, you got 2 minutes. You
you've
want
got
to have a
to.
meeting, impromptu.
No,
No.
because now you're infringing upon my time,
Right.
right?
But
And
we
so
never had, girl, we never had a my time.
we did not, and that's why I applaud the young people. My son and both of my sons are like that. They're like, no, I'm doing this. They're traveling. They're enjoying life. And just being a well-rounded person like that is going to allow them to be great leaders as well. You know what I mean? So I just love all those things right there. So and not for nothing, we're traumatized, to be
We
honest
are
with you.
traumatized. We are unlearning and figuring this all out. We were
Yes,
traumatized. And that's okay. But we get to heal and we get to be the bosses that we always wanted to be.
I love that
Experience. You know what I mean?
for sure.
So, and you are totally that. Like, your
That's good for Sean.
kids love you. When you were
I
leaving,
love them
they were
too.
like, "Who are we? We're not working for that name. Who are we working for?" Because you are really a gem, and there's not a lot of bosses. Like there's more now because there's more
Thank
people that are
God.
healed and awakened and really more people focused. And what I came to realize about leadership is that leaders is really a job of service. It's
It
not
is.
really like people think, oh, I'm a leader, I get to be the big mucky muck and I get to tell all the people what to do, and it really isn't that. It's really what you were
Mm-mm.
saying. It was like,
Mhm.
as long as my people are happy, then my business is going to flourish. If my people are
Absolutely.
miserable, it'll
It's gonna be
flourish
a
for a
problem.
while, but it's not going to continue. It's not going to be consistent.
No, for sure. That is absolutely a fact.
Yeah, yeah. So like, how do you navigate fear, self-doubt, and resistance when it comes to your leadership?
How do I navigate fear? I throw myself into the situation. Like anything that I'm fearful of, I thrust into and I approach it and I attack it and I just overcome it. That's how I do it. I don't run and hide. I address things as they're happening. And sometimes that could be a bad thing. I'm working on that because sometimes you can say things too soon. Like, the Bible tells us to be quick to listen and slow to speak. I sometimes do it the other way around. But I guess it's just like a nervous energy. If I'm fearful of something, I'm like, oh, I need to deal with it right now because I don't want it to overcome me. I don't want it to take me over. And if it takes if I get taken over by my fear, I know where that leads mentally. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. And I'm very in tune with my thoughts, Vashon. Like, I've always been that way. And I know what could happen if I go down a rabbit hole. I know what could happen if I let fear overtake me. I know what could happen if I give in to certain things, right? So I work on my mind every day. Every day, I'm saying good things to myself, even if someone says something to me, Vashon, that is kind of off. I shake it off. Like, I'll say something, I'll address it, and then but I don't let it take me.
Yeah.
I don't live with that. I know I'm going down another rabbit hole, but
No, that's
I
okay.
don't yeah, I don't live with that. And so as far as fear is concerned, it's like I run into the hurricane.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, how did you get to get that fortification? Because a lot of people, that's not how they operate. Like, I don't
I
know if it's
know.
because we're from the Bronx or
It's a part of it. It's a part of it, but I know it's intuitive. It's God given. Like, I remember as a little girl, I just always been like, when I was a little girl and we would go out shopping, right? And at one point in my life, we had a car, believe it or not. And we had a car and we would go to like Macy's or whatever, come home and we'll get out. Everybody, my sister would get out, my mom would get out the car, get all the bags. And I like to just sit there in the car with the engine off in silence. I love the sound of silence. I don't know what that's about. And that would have I knew but I didn't know that I was just having a moment to myself and it was just me and my thoughts. And I enjoyed that, right? And the other part of it is just being like a tough, rough girl. Like, what? Beat it. Like, you could say stuff to me. I'm like, really? Whatever. It just rolled off of me.
yeah,
And my sister tells me that's my escape. That's my escape mechanism, I guess, to like, which is probably true, to brush things off, because I know that if I hold on to it, I cannot be productive. I got too many things to accomplish. I cannot let what someone said about me, what someone thinks about me, get into my soul and my
yes,
psyche. I understand that. And so what I do is go, "Psh, you wish you were me, beat it. And let me keep going, no matter what they're saying about me and about my style and about my leadership or how I look when I show up or how loud I am or how I don't speak proper English. I don't care. Okay? I know I'm showing up the way God wants me to show up, and that's it. That's all that matters to me,
yeah.
you know? So,
No, totally get that. I mean, see, what I've learned in the last few years is that people see you as they are, not as you are. They're only seeing the reflection. They see, okay, so what's happened? A mirror. Everyone's a mirror to us. Positive, negative, or however you want to label it. We label it all the things, but everyone's a mirror of what is really going on inside ourselves. So, and how we react or respond is how what we can take responsibility for. So you got somebody coming up to you, they're screaming and yelling, hooping, hollering in your face, and you're just like, ooh, you must be having a really bad day. Whereas before, I remember I would be 0 to 1,000. I'd be yelling, be screaming, all the things, right? But now I'm
um,
like, wow, you're having an experience. And I can move on from it. But it's just really the difference within
mm,
yourself.
no, it is
And I love the sound of silence. That's why I like being up. I'm often up late at night or early in the morning, and there's no sound.
beautiful.
It's so beautiful. But that's what peace is all about. And so often we are so occupied with all kinds of other
Mm,
distractions, including life. Life can be a distraction, which I
that's
love
good.
you said, oh, I'm not letting these distractions get in my way.
No, cannot.
That's just brilliant. That's just brilliant.
Yeah, no, I like what you said. Yeah, it's a sense of peace, and like popping off was a thing, like, but when you mature,
Yes.
right, and then you become at peace with yourself and you're centered, you actually start to think about like what could possibly be happening with them. So
Exactly.
you give people grace too. Like, I'm always now find myself in my old age, like looking at both sides. Whereas before it was like there is no one both sides. It's my side or no side, right? But now it's like, hmm, let's figure out why they're acting out like that. What is causing that person to be so upset? And it's just a beautiful place to be in, to
Yeah.
be honest with
Yeah.
you, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's what it is it shows you your growth and
Yes.
shows you where other people are. And I can love you where you are, but I might be from a distance. I don't need to be all up in your face. We might
No, for
just be,
sure.
you know, loving you from a distance. And that's okay too. The other
Yeah.
thing too is like if they're treating you like that, imagine how they're treating themselves, which
Right.
allows me to really have that compassion for them, to really see, like you said, the both sides. Like, okay, obviously, I may not know the why, I may never know the why, and maybe I don't even care, right?
Right.
At the
And that's
same,
okay.
you're obviously going through something. And a lot of times, a lot of the rah rah is they are jealous of you or they want what you have, but they don't know how to ask for it. So they
Yes.
act out.
That's exactly right, Rashawn. Well said.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
So,
my friend.
what values anchor your leadership and guide your decisions?
My faith, my unabiding faith. Like, I know who I am and whose I am. And I have developed I don't know if you want to say system of being grounded and being centered and putting me first. And what does that look like for me on a daily basis is that, before anyone else gets up, I'm up. Whether I'm physically up or, my mind is up, I'm alert, I'm awake, I am grounded in my faith. I make sure without fail I'm reading my Bible, I'm communicating with God, always first thing in the morning. I'm co-laboring with him. I ask him, what are we doing today? I may have plans. I got books full of plans, right? What I plan to do. I write out my systems the night before what I want to do, but in the mornings I definitely ask the Lord to guide me in that. So my spirituality is a big piece to my leadership and who I am and who God has created me to be. I have my mother to thank for that and my grandparents and my ancestors for just being amazing, godly women, mainly women in my family that are just godly women who led me to this lifestyle that I have in a sense by their example. I followed their example, right? The example of being a godly woman, a woman of service, a woman of integrity. I had nothing but women like that around me. And so that, I mean, like, honestly, if I didn't have that, if I wasn't centered in my faith for Sean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
it would be different.
speaking of your mom, I just love her.
Thank
She
you.
she always was such a light and so classy. And I was like, oh, I want to be like her because
Yes, my mother
she's
was.
so stylish and classy and she just had this zhuzh about her. I can't explain it. It's like there's not, it's the word is like words pale in comparison to
Thank
the
you.
magnificence that she was and is.
Thank
So,
you so
and
much.
you're an excellent legacy of her because you are you definitely are her mini. Yes. But well, you and Monica, both of you.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Vashawn. That's sweet.
Yeah.
I
So
miss her.
I know. That's what made me, because I saw her. You
Yes,
posted a picture of her and then a video, and I was just
yes. That was us fooling around
as
as we
much as she
normally.
was so proper, like I
Right.
guess
She was
proper would be the
silly.
word.
Yes,
She
she
was
was.
still so funny and fun.
Yes.
But I remember just being around as kids, and we were, I think it was your Sweet 16 some party or something.
Yes.
And I stayed over at your house, and she was a
Yes.
hoot. But I remember her devotion to her, her mom, and making sure that everything was good with her. But she was
Oh,
just such a
yes.
good mom. Like,
Thank you.
don't play with her either.
Do not.
She was so kind and loving, and
One or the two. Don't play
the
with her.
two, the
Yeah.
three, the four, or the five. Like, you can play if you want to, but she would get us together real fast.
Yes. Real
So
fast.
I love her. So yeah, I just
Thank
wanted to
you.
take that moment. But so how do you balance? Because you talked a lot about compassion, right? So how do you balance strength with compassion? Like being fierce without losing your softness. And it could be something,
Mm-hmm.
you've learned over time. But how do you balance that?
Well, that's a really good question. I think just being absolutely being straightforward and sincere at the same time. I've learned, I used to be a person that would talk at you. I've learned, and I'm still learning, how to talk to people. You know what I mean? And again, that whole wait, pause, posture, listen before you speak, and hear the heart of people. Because a lot of times we are just so conditioned to listening to someone talk to us and we're ready to jump in and give our input before we even let them finish, before we even think it through, right? And so I've learned to do that. I'm trying more and more every day to be more poised with my delivery, but sometimes I don't know. Because you know how it is. You just kind of you be like, that ain't right, and get over here because I'm gonna tell you that's not right, and you don't need to do that, right? But we have to meet people where they are. We do. Because even like with my kids, I'm like, man, both of my kids are so vastly different. I can talk to one like, get over here, do this, do that, and they're like, okay. But the other one, it has to be a delicate conversation because of the obvious. And then, I think a lot of times we assume so much about people. We should never assume. We have to be careful with that, and communicate with people in such a way that we can actually figure out what is going on with people, what their needs are, how can we help. And when you take it from that energy, that allows you to be compact. That's my compassion right there. Just kind of like figuring out what's going on with them and sitting back and letting them talk and letting people tell me what's going on with them.
Yeah.
You know.
I love that. I love that a lot. So tell me about your business. So you went from corporate body to franchisee to now digital marketing. So what was that about and what made you choose that? And just, yeah.
Yeah, very interesting journey. One thing led to the next to the next. You know what led me to being a franchisee, right? And then after being a franchisee, there was a pivotal moment in my life, and that pivotal transformation was finding out that I was going to be a grandma. I had already wanted to move into something else, but I just didn't know what that something else was. I knew that I was tired of working 10 to 12-hour shifts. I was tired of always spending more time with strangers than I did with my own family because by the time I came home, I was exhausted, overwhelmed, stressed out. I had nothing to give the people that I love. That's heavy.
Yeah.
That's heavy. My relationships were looking funny. I mean, everything seemed to be like falling apart. But here I was looking like a, professional success, but I was a private failure deep inside because I was like, I'm exhausted. Y'all don't know. It looks good, but I come home beat down, no relations with my husband. Me and my kid, I'm missing basketball games. I'm missing because I have this responsibility, right? But then when I found out I was going to be a grandparent, that just put the fuel to the fire. Right? I was like, oh no, I'm getting out of here. I don't care because here's the thing, like, I was talking about selling my store for like, I say about 5 years or so. And people will come to me with different prices. And I was like, no, I'm not taking that. And da 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 da. That pride. I was like, no, telling people, no, I need this amount. But I never forget, my sister's so like
She's so wise.
intuitive. She's so wise. And she was like, Keisha, the store gave what it gave.
Yes, it gave what
You,
it gave.
she said, you accept the thing that you can live with because you already got your money back 10 times over already.
I love her.
Yes, me too. Monica is
She
when
is the
everybody
shit.
needs a Monica in their life. You hear
Yes,
me?
Monica
Nobody,
she's
she
always
said,
been such an amazing grounding force. Like,
my
yeah.
sister is amazing. She was like, it already gave what it gave. You got what you needed out of it. Now I need you to go because what's more important, right? Are you trying to jock for this amount, or do you want to be with your granddaughter who's on the way? What is it for you? And I was like,
Mm.
I said,
She brought that clarity.
let me call Mr. Patel up right now. Tell him I accept the offer.
Yes.
And that's how I was able to actually release myself from that very stressful
So
environment.
good.
Yes, so good. And it took almost like a little over 6 months for me to completely pull myself away from it, but it happened. And so, as far as the digital marketing part, as I was making my transition out of there, I knew I wanted to do something different. I knew I wanted to be a stay at home. I wanted to find an opportunity where I can have clients work from home online. I knew that that's something that I wanted to do. I just didn't know how to go about doing it. And then what do? We get on TikTok, all these different platforms, and we start searching for the thing that we're seeking. And I found this lady talking about digital marketing. And after watching her for about a week, I was like, you know what? Let me try this. And I actually purchased a course that taught me. So I didn't like just cold turkey get into it. I was still running my business, but then in the nooks and crannies of my day, I was studying, I was watching videos, I was on live webinars. I was just feeding myself with this information because I knew that eventually I'll be hopefully doing it full time. Here we are, April of 2024. I said goodbye, deuces to my restaurant, and now I've thrust it into this business. Still learning, still growing. And so now I've evolved into like, okay, I'm a digital entrepreneur now because I know how to be an entrepreneur, the goings ons of running a business. So now I'm just doing it in the online space, which is inevitable because everybody's online and this is the way the world is going. You go to a restaurant, a robot's bringing you your food. You're online booking your doctor's appointments. You're online ordering food. You're online ordering your clothes, Amazon, TikTok Shop, all the things. Everyone's online. So I began to think, well, how can I get some of that? Like, how can I get a piece of the pie online where people are paying me to provide them with a level of service? So, in a sense, long story short, as a digital entrepreneur, I teach other people how to be digital entrepreneurs, if that makes sense.
Yes,
So
perfect.
I've created my own space for myself. So all right. So basically, in a nutshell, I teach people how to be digital entrepreneurs, if that makes sense. And so I help people tap into their purpose, right? I want people to tap into that and understand that you can live with your purpose, on purpose, and make a profit. And so I have a program, a mentorship program that's a one-to-one coaching program where I help, GenX women in particular, who they are and how they can take the core skills and abilities that they have, the innate abilities that God has given them, and actually create space for themselves, create their own digital empire, if you will. Okay, and so I take them through the steps of that from soup to nuts on how they could become digital entrepreneurs, create digital courses, products, programs. I help them gain clarity because that seems to be like the number one thing. People just don't know who or what or how. And so I help them with that. The next phase of that is that I help them get organized because we be doing the most. We got everything going on. We're busy moms, wives. We have all volunteering at the church, all the things. So I help them get organized and structured and help them develop systems. And then we go into mobilization. I teach them how to create content, how to edit if they don't know how to edit, and how to create their own workshops and courses. And so we build this out with our time together. It's a one-to-one 30-day engagement. And then I have other programs, of course, to engage with me further. But I feel like that's the sweet spot. That's the thing that's going to get people off and running. And my goal is with that mentorship program is to get people off and running. I want you to be like interdependent. I don't want you to have to need me after that. I'm available to them if they need me with questions and stuff. But the goal is for you to learn. Let's go. Let's start making money online. I teach people how to do that.
I love that. And it sounds like you're teaching them how to be self-sufficient entrepreneur like you are, which is
Sure.
great. You're there as much to support as the guide and letting them fly on their own. And I know
No.
that you're doing it for, women over 40 and the people that love us because yeah, we're in a lot of us are in a state of transition.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're married or single or
Mm-hmm.
you have kids or whatever's
Right.
going on in your life, we're in some state of transition. It could
For
be
sure.
just in our bodies or it could be in our family. A lot of our kids are going off to school
In our
or
mind.
yeah, or having kids or getting married or whatever the case may be. So navigating that space can be so interesting. And it's so
Mm-hmm.
great when you can do it in community and have someone that can lead you and guide you and assist you in being you even better.
Yes. Yes. And this is such a non-traditional way to start a business. And I know it's a little wonky for people, and a lot of people don't really understand how the whole digital space works. But I like to assure your listeners, your guests, to let them know that, listen, the world has gone digital. And according to Forbes magazine today, as you're watching this video, 2025, it's a $1 billion per day industry. In 2027, it's going to be $1 trillion per day industry. It's kind of like We can't avoid this thing. You know what I mean? So I really encourage my Gen X men and women to like really lean into this, at least learn the skills that you need necessary to actually get started in the digital space, right? So that you can provide for your family, so that you can live well in retirement, so that you can do all the things you've been hoping and praying for, right? Traveling, spending time with your family, stacking your coins, right? All the things. So digital marketing and digital entrepreneurship is the way to build wealth, period, to me. So I teach that. And I'm very proud of myself for even ushering into this. And now I've mastered it and I'm still learning, right? And as I learn, I share, right? And I'm building community, like you said, that's super important. Community, accountability, that's what people need. And I'm here for that. And so I do have a program that's called From Purpose to Profits. And my site is purpose to the number two profits.biz. And anyone can go there, and anyone that's, your listeners, your viewers, if they put the code word in purpose, they'll get 50% off just for your listeners. So just to let you know. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Appreciate you.
You said earlier that you want to assist people in finding the courage to really be themselves and show up for themselves. And I love that. And I think that's what you're doing with your purpose to profit is really giving people that opportunity to, and we are multiple income stream girlies because we are like, oh yes, especially like if the past events haven't shown us anything, it's to be and have multiple streams.
Have your own. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I totally agree. And you're right. I want to teach people how to reinvent themselves. You know what I mean? And have the courage to do so and do it unapologetically. So that's what I'm called to do in this season for sure.
Yes, I love that so much. So, what is the legacy you're most passionate about leaving for you, your family, your community, and the world?
I believe my legacy is servant leadership. Like, I know that my kids are watching me. I know that my granddaughter is watching me. Even though she's one, she feels me. And when I'm dead and gone, I want them to say, my mom, my wife, my Nana led with compassion. She served in a beautiful way. And because she served, I will too.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly how it's happened for me, with me and my sister, from my mother. My mother served in a beautiful way. Now we have morphed into her. We serve because she did.
Yes, and I love that so much. Service, I think service gets a bad rap because we've been like domesticated into service sacrifice. Like you have to sacrifice yourself. If you're not sacrificing every part of yourself, you're not a good wife, mother, blah blah blah, right? And yeah, and but we can be of service and still have really good self-care because I know you balance that really well. Like you have the health aspect. I know like digital marketing is your main thing, but you always bring the health aspect, which I love because it reminds me, even though I may not do all the things like you do, because you be getting it, you be in the gym, you be doing the things, but yeah, it's okay to take care of us too.
No,
And
for
yeah.
sure. And you have to have structure. Like that's a big component. That's a big piece. And that's some of the things that I talk about in my mentorship program. And I show people how to do that. Like systems, man, systems. Like I'm very consistent. And I had to force myself. I had to really like be very disciplined in a thing. It's just kind of like when I say to people, like you get up every day, right? You get up, you get in the shower. Some people take a bath, but you're going to wash. You're going to brush your teeth. You're going to get your hair together. At least I hope. Right. And it's just kind of like, so you have to set those same types of discipline in your life, in your business. And so like I have on my phone, my alarm will come up and say at 4 o'clock, get ready to go to the gym. Like everything is scheduled. If it's not scheduled, it doesn't exist. I have prayer in here. I have eat breakfast, walk your nephew to the bus stop. When I tell you this podcast, everything's in my phone because I want to create disciplines for my life because I know that's important. I mean, it's really pretty much everything. I promise you. So I show people how structure. I show people how to develop systems so that they can get to do the things that they want to do so they can have balance. So you can go out on date night on Fridays. You can work, get your workout in. Make sure you take time for yourself. All those things are super important. And I realized early on that when I did these things and I had this balance, it made me a better mom. It made me a better wife. It made me a better boss. It made me a better entrepreneur because I found that balance. And let's talk about the fierce power of no. Get somebody else to do it. Because I was a people pleaser at one point. I was like,
Yes.
get somebody else to do it. Not today. Even my husband, I'd be like, huh? Not today.
No, I decline.
No is a complete sentence.
Yes, I just was saying that. I just
Period.
tell you, period, point blank, drop the mic.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. But yeah, I love everything that you said. It really is about balance and about, I learned that me sacrificing myself is not helping anybody.
It's not.
So why are we continuing to play this game? And so I'm learning really to use my voice and say, okay, yeah, this isn't working for me. And I love, like, you have helped me so much, like, assisted me. You're a great accountability partner. We check in with each other.
Check
And,
in.
yeah, like, I tried something, I say something, a few things that you suggest, and I just tweak it and make it work for me.
Right.
Yeah, like, people had mentioned to me about the Pomodoro method before. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, yeah, whatever. But for whatever reason, when you said it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna really try this. I probably was just in a space that I was ready to really try something different. And okay, I tried it the way that you prescribed, and I was like, okay, this is too long to work, and then this is too short of a break. So I made it work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was able to, like, today, I could do 45 minutes in a 10 minutes. But
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, it may not be that way. I might be
You're
able to do
not.
20 minutes and half an hour break, right? Or whatever that looks like.
For
But it's
sure.
just allowing for that space
Mm-hmm.
for whatever I'm needing so I can be the most productive
Yes.
and pushing myself, like, and allowing myself to be pushed. Because that's the thing. I can
Mm-hmm.
get coaching or sign up or come to you for to assist me on my journey. But if I'm not willing to put in the work or the actions, then what's the point? Like, I'm
What are we doing?
wasting my time and your time and my money and all the things.
Girl.
We sip on that.
Let me take a sip. Let me sip. Let me sip. That part, I always talk about that. You have to participate in the promise.
Yes,
Come on, man. Listen, you got to put action to this thing that we're
for
talking about here.
real. Like, I cannot work harder than you. What are we doing? Why are we going over? We, how many times do I have to give you a
Yes.
strategy? How many strategies? You didn't even do the last strategy. What are we doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing? I can't work hard. You told me that one time. I was like, oh, that's so good. And I used that on one of my clients. I was like, I'm not about to sit here and work harder than you. So let's get
Be successful and at the same time,
to the end.
it's an end world, okay? Look, Molly, you're gonna be in danger. No, no. Like,
People be people in.
people be people
And
in. I'm like, why are you
in
people in so
danger.
much today? Can we pull back the people a little bit? Can we just be, I love you. This is when, like, you have to say, well, maybe I'm not the right coach for you, or maybe,
I'm not the right one. It's
because
not gonna work.
I can't. I love you, and I really want you to be successful. And
And no,
no, no, it's okay. No, I've really become to really love no. Where I used to hate no, I
me
didn't like
too.
people telling me no, and I barely said no. But now I love no. I
Me
say no
too.
a lot.
You stand on no. You stand on it. Me too.
No, our sacred no's are just as brilliant and magnificent as our sacred yeses.
I
And
agree.
you can change your mind. Like, you can say, okay,
Hmm.
even as a coach, you start with someone, you're like, this was going good, and now not so much. Or I thought it was going to be something different. And then you're like, well, again, maybe I'm not the right coach. I really, really enjoyed this experience for what it is. And it has come to my attention. No longer a viable working situation for
Because it's so real, man. What you're saying is like, listen, Molly, you ain't gonna drive me to drink. No, 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 no. It's cocktail hour somewhere in this world.
In the world, somewhere in the world, there's cocktails. If I was on a cruise ship right now, I'd be having lots of cocktails. So that's
For
great.
real. At all hours of the day.
All hours of the day.
Yeah.
No.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not doing
Jesus,
that.
we're back. We're back.
We're back. We're back. But seriously, like, I'm not doing it. I'm not. I can't. I've been there, done that. And see, that's the thing. All money is not good money.
Joe ain't need that kind of money. Like, I'm done.
That's why the wisdom that Monica gave you was so great. It was like, what are you trying to get out of this? You
Yep,
aren't you
it
trying to
gave
get
what
out? Aren't you trying to get out? Or you don't want to get out?
you don't
Do you
want to
want
get
to get
out.
out or you don't want
No, for sure. And
to?
that did it for me. That really did it for me, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So, what advice would you give to women or men?
Hmm.
I know mostly you focus on women, but stepping into leadership later in their life or after years of being underestimated, what advice would you give?
To people who want to get into leadership, this is something I didn't really have. I guess I did have silent mentors, right? But I would encourage people to actually attach themselves to a mentor or a coach. I didn't really, you know, during my development have someone that I like paid to be coach me, but I had people who coached me, if that makes sense, just by taking me out to lunch, sharing a few things with me. I was always very observant, so I caught on quick. And I was always that person that worked at a job, but I also wanted to know the business dealings behind what I did. I always wanted an explanation as to why do we hang the clothes up like this, and what does this mean if we hang it this way instead of this way, like, and then if we sell 10 of these. But so that was a sense of coaching, that was a sense of mentorship. But if I could encourage anyone to get a mentor early on, and it doesn't have to be a paid mentor. It could be somebody that you just send an email, make a phone call and say, "Hey, I admire you. I want to model you. I want to go in that direction where you are. Can I just take you to lunch once a month and just pick your brain?" And there's this one mentor, and I shared this with my sons too. There's this one mentor that told me this years ago, like, when you finally get the opportunity to be in a room with some big wigs or some heavy hitters or whatever, and they agree to have lunch with you, one of the questions you want to ask them is like, who in your Rolodex, your phone, who in your phone, in your list of contacts, would you recommend that I contact, that you would want to introduce me to? Which is a very interesting question because we know building is all about relationships too. And I thought that was just really a clever idea, to do that. And I did, and I was doing that when I would sit down and talk to some really important people because you want to know who should I be talking to that you're talking to? Like,
Yes, I love that.
yes, yes. So he said to me, you always ask them who's in your phone, who's in your Rolodex that you will refer me to, that you think I need to call based off of the things that you know about me, you know? And that was really, really powerful, just getting to know, like, just how to have conversations and how to move in that whole industry that you're in. So that's one thing I would say. And then also, I would encourage people to trust your gut. Your gut never lies. We're all intuitive. I'm telling you, you gotta trust your gut and move on that.
Yes, 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 yes. I love that so much. Yeah, so often we discount our intuition,
We
and
do.
especially as women, that is one of our major forces because we have that womb wisdom and we have that portal to the divine that is just on a whole nother level. So we
Yes,
really have that ability to connect and listen to that still small voice within,
for
and what
sure.
to.
Absolutely.
So, what's one belief you have to release in order to own your voice or your power?
That's a good one, Vashawn.
I can tell I love it. I love it.
Repeat the question again so I can.
Okay. So, what's one belief you have to
Mhm.
release in order to own your voice or your power?
That it's not your fault. Listen, we've all had traumatic experiences in our lives. We've all had different types of experiences, but at the end of the day, those things that happen to you is not your fault, and you can't let it hold you back from your greatness. I mean, it really is not your fault. And I had to tell myself, like, you know what, Keisha, you're not going to do this. It's not your fault. We're going to thrust into this. We're going to move forward. This is who you are. This is who God created you to be. Let's go.
I love that. You can only take responsibility for what you can take responsibility for.
For
And
sure.
I feel like too, we don't have to let our past define our present. Like, because there's lots of brilliant, brilliant people that, you know, may not have had the opportunities that we had, and they have something to offer too.
Hmm.
And you don't have to make your worst day be the whole definition of your identity. So
For sure.
I think that is so key in life. So, how has your relationship with money evolved over time?
It's gotten so much better, girl. I was a spender, frivolous spender, and sometimes I do get a little carried away. But I've learned to, honestly, I've learned to reinvest my money. Like I'm not afraid anymore to take the income that I generate and actually put it back into me. Can you imagine? I would take that money and reinvest in more programs and a coach, and I don't care if it's supplies. I even reward myself too. Like every time, and I think that's important and powerful at the same time. Like every time I get a sale or every time I get, a contract or something like that, I buy something. It's not over the top like it used to be back in the day, buying purses and all that stuff. I'm so past that. And it's usually something that's going to help me be better, like a new MacBook or this is what I'm talking about. Like I get gel pens, you know what I mean? The little things that make me happy, right? But I feel like it's really important for us to reward ourselves. And
Yeah.
so my relationship with money has gotten so much better. I also am a tither. Tithing and giving money to the house of the Lord has really changed the game for me. Just giving it without expectation, right? And giving above what is required. So that has helped me a lot. And so my relationship with money is pretty doggone good. Yeah. It wasn't always that way, but yeah.
No, I totally get that. We're all evolving. 'Cause we were taught such, it froze for a second. We were taught
Yes, it
such
did.
interesting messages about money and how that goes in life. So,
For sure.
how do you feel that relationships, your family, partnership, community, shape the way you show up as a leader?
It's a big deal. It's a major thing. Like the way that I'm treated and the way that I treat the people that I love the most really is apparent when I show up in the world, right? Because that energy is transferable. To be honest with you, if I'm living happy and vibrant in my home, it translates into the world when I go out into the world because I'm around it all the time. I feel it. I'm giving it. And so it's hard to turn that off when you go out into the world and you engage with people, you're in meetings and all the things. I always had to, talk myself out of, there's always the stigma about brown girls, right? We're loud, we're over the top and all the things. But that is like my personality. And I stopped playing small to that. It was one time when I was playing small to that, definitely in the corporate environment. But now I feel so good, especially as being a digital entrepreneur working from home. I feel so good about being the vibrant Keisha that I am. Like, I don't care if I'm at the country club playing pickleball with the girls or, I'm at the house with my kids. I am who I am, loud, proud, colorful, vivacious, all the things. This is who I am. Yeah. And I love that. So all of that translates. The love, the relationship I have at home translates into the relationships that I'm building and that I have outside.
So much. And I look at you and I just admire how you are treated because it does say something when you look at the reverence like your kids have for you. Like they just love you and your partner's so funny. So funny. I've known you guys a
Yes.
long time, so I've known from before
And for the
and
very
now
beginning,
and the growth and just how fun it like you guys are really having fun and living your best lives. And I love that you're multi-generational. Like
me too.
it's so yummy. It's like yummy to
Yeah.
see where you are now and how you've grown and evolved and went from one kid to two kids to like now
The
being a
two
grandma.
dogs and the in-laws and the nephews.
I know,
That's a lot
right? You just
going
growing
on up in here.
and now a grandma. Just a cutie but cutie.
Thank
Like
you,
you just
baby.
and I
Yeah.
just love seeing you with her. Just it's just so great. I just love that we get to be the people that we would have wanted, to be there for us and be there. And we
Oh,
had some really good, role models and things like that, but just really evolving
mm-hmm.
and growing and
Yes, we
continuing.
connect. Yes,
Seasoned, we're still not like, well, you might as well start folding it up.
yes. No, we're still saucy and spicy.
Yes.
Yes,
And we're still ready to travel and ready to
yes.
do all the
Do
things.
all the
So,
things. Yes, yes, yes.
and I think that's what life is really all about. So thank
I agree.
thank you so much. I just know that you have so I know you have the From Purpose to Profit, and
Mm-hmm.
let us know where we can find you and connect with you. And I'll have all the
Cool.
links listed as well. So, but just,
Awesome. Thank you for this opportunity. Yes. Thank you for allowing me to share. So you can find me on all social media platforms as actually Mompreneur ATL. That is my social media handle. And then if you want to engage with me and you need coaching, mentorship, you're kind of intrigued about becoming a digital entrepreneur while you're still working your 9 to 5 so you can make a way for yourself in retirement, check me out. Look me up. My website is purpose2, profits with an S, biz. I'm there. All of my details, all of my information is there. And again, if anyone's listening to this podcast, if you put in the word purpose, you will get a 50% discount on that program. Okay. One-to-one coaching.
yes, and it's well worth it because you are phenomenal. I
Thank
love
you.
that I get to have you as my sister friend and my accountability partner because you sure do keep me in line.
I love it. And you keep me in line as well. I love everything about you. You've taught me so much. You've helped me to tap into my inner self and you gave me permission to be who I am. You always do, Vashawn. And you're like Monica to me, to be honest with you. Like you guys are like very much alike. So what I hear from you in this ear, I'm hearing the same thing from Monica in
Well,
this ear.
that's
And
good.
I'm like, okay, because I need y'all. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I need that balance. I need someone to say, wait a minute, Keisha, let's think this through now. And
Right.
I love your ands because you say this is one thing, but and there's always that and I'm like, oh, thank you for helping me realize the and because the and is important.
There's power in the end. It's power because we used to say but
But
negates the first part,
it does.
and it's not negated. It's still valid, and this part can be
That's so
valid
good.
too.
And because of you, I coach like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thank you, Vashawn, and I'm so proud of you with all
Thank
of this,
you.
the podcast you've been talking about, and you did it, girl. You're crushing it. You got the gold microphone and the whole shebang, baby. Which can I get the affiliate link for that? I'm not playing with you. I
Yes,
need to order
yes.
the link.
Yes, okay, I will do that. I need to put that in there because people always
Yes,
ask me, well, where'd you get your lipstick or what's this? I need to put the affiliate links in
put
there.
all of that, girl. Yes,
Yes, digital marketing, and it's so easy. It doesn't have to be complicated
it doesn't
because
have to be
so
complicated.
often, like one thing I can say is like, Keisha goes first. So Keisha will find something, and then she'll be like, "Hey, I got this." So and then I'm like, "Okay, you tried it. It's good. Okay, we good. Okay, I'm jumping on." If she calls and says, "I got this thing. What is it? How much does it cost?" Because I already
Right.
know.
I already know.
Well, because it's gonna be good. Like you have me with the health, like with Live Good. I love their
Yes,
products.
me
I've
too.
added new things because they have some new things, and
Yes,
yeah, and it's just it's always gonna be good. It's always
it's a
gonna be
beautiful relationship,
yeah.
Vashawn. We have a beautiful
I
relationship.
know. I know, and we've always had that from when we were back in high school. We were like besties, and we had a little
Yes,
group, and
for sure.
amazing women. Like I just feel so blessed that I know so many amazing women. Like it's
Yeah,
so,
same.
so great.
Same
But
here.
it's been such a wonderful and powerful
Yes,
conversation.
I'm glad.
Thank
Same here.
thank you so much for sharing your story, your wisdom, and your lion-hearted courage with us today. You are such a living example of what it means to lead authentically and leave a legacy of love. And fam, if you want to stay connected with Keisha, you can find her. She gave you the website. I'm going to have the links in the description and everything. So you'll be able to find her, get her freebies. She is an amazing, amazing, amazing coach. And she is offering her one-on-one mentorship program, as she mentioned, from Purpose to Profit. It's normally $297. But for my listeners, if you put in purpose, she is going to make it 50% off. Uh, you know, this is what I can say. Is there anything that you want to leave us with that you haven't already said?
Well, I just want to encourage people again, just go, just do, just be. Don't worry about what anyone thinks or what anyone is saying. If your heart is leading you in that direction, go towards that. Trust your gut, lead with integrity, and have the courage to do it. You got this. Let's go.
Let's go. She's always saying that. She's like, let's go. So yeah,
Go.
let's go. So go
Yeah.
show Kisha some love and let her know what
Thank
part of
you.
this episode lit you up. And remember, being lion-hearted doesn't mean being fearless. It means choosing courage even when fear is present. So until next time, keep leading, keep loving, and keep unleashing your inner badass.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. Special thanks produced by Deshaun J. Moore. Music, I'm Coming Out by Anu at Anu Crew. Special guest Kisha Cameron at Mompreneur ATL. Thank you to all my listeners. Follow me on social media at More with V, like and subscribe.